Greetings, YouTube. This is DecKrash, better known as Brandon. So I just finished watching the most recent episode of Terra Nova. It was called Instinct, from what I gathered on the internet. And to say it was actually pretty good. It was fairly something I expected. It kind of opens up with this group of soldiers from Terra Nova heading back with some supplies, and then suddenly they get attacked by something in the trees. And of course, the next day they find out that they're dead. And well, the whole plot, as the plot rolls out, you find out the creatures that killed them and their behavior and what they need to try to combat this. It's a I, I'm I posted the spoilers, so here's a spoiler mark. You know, if you don't want to watch this review, haven't seen the episode yet, don't listen any further. So if you've seen the episode. It says like bird-like things. I think one of the scientists at the end of the show named it, but I can't remember what he said. It was kind of mumbled. But anyway, the kind of that's kind of like the main plot that this episode's surrounding is these bird-like dinosaurs, and it's their mating patterns, because Terra Nova, they find out, sits right on their mating grounds. So and so they have to figure out a way to stop them, or to at least find a way to distract them or get them out of there, or to fight against them, because these creatures are especially vicious because it's their mating flight. So, and all the while, you're having like this subplot with the husband and the wife. The dad's been in prison for several years, and they had their youngest daughter was constantly sleeping in their room until she could get used to the home that they were living in. And it's a sort of slight running gag going on that they are looking for time for a little you're looking for a little quality time together, if you know what I mean. And everything keeps happening, from the daughter wanting to go to wanting to sleep in their room again, and then those bird-like things, and that's when you start realizing that those things are becoming a major problem. They're incredibly loud also. And also there's another little subplot with the oldest son and the girl who he befriended from the first episode. And they get along really well together. And every day after work, he's going up into the marketplace and fawning over this guitar, and he's trying to find a way to get it. So the story wraps around some really nice little things here. It's nothing really major, but it's still something that's comfortable and fun to watch. I don't think that they do anything really major with the plot, moving it along in a massive way. But it's one of those ones that's just showing the problems of setting up a human colony in a time 85 million years in the past. And so I kind of expected that this episode was going to center around that a dino problem du jour type thing, which I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of as it moves along. Episodes that may involve certain types of species of dinosaurs and various problems that arise with them. The way that it's shaping up, and even for the preview of the next episode, I see that it's going to, a lot of the things that I see in it are very, your familiar, comfortable conventions of science fiction shows, especially ones that have to do with a group of people in a sci-fi setting. You'll have your techno problem du jour, you'll have your animal problem du jour, you have your person problem du jour, and they'll mix that up. And of course, also the whole deal because the story revolves around that family, it's going to have your family life problem du jour. And then this episode, it actually kind of showed itself, not just in respect about the husband and wife trying to find quality time to get a little happy time together, but a colleague of the wife who shows his face up in Terra Nova, who happens to be like one of the people who really pushed for her to join the whole Terra Nova effort. And the husband finds out about it, and of course it's that big jealousy bit. and of course it comes out in your usual ways, because he thinks that he wanted her to come to Terra Nova because he knew that that he was in prison, and so he's like, "Oh, I can bring him into this time, and I'll still have another chance with him," because he finds out that he and his wife dated for a little bit, So your typical jealous guy bit. It's pretty. Some people call it probably contrived, but it's just one of those staples, family dramas also. So Terra Nova is showing that it's trying to be a little bit of everything. It's trying to have a little bit of something for everyone. It's trying to have the hardcore sci-fi fans that are that to do things that are really kind of get the nerds going, and of course for people who want to have a good grounding in a situational setting just with real people. It has that drama as it goes with the family, and I'm still really liking Lang's character, because he's still coming off as like a real no nonsense guy, but really a person you can grow to respect. And I'm hoping that it's not going to take that the storyline is not going to take that turn that I feel maybe coming with the whole "oh God, he was really a bad guy after all" type thing. I sincerely hope that's not the case. I'm hoping that they make this person very, very complex. I mean, it reminds me of how the remake of Battlestar Galactica started out with Baltar being this cowardly little wuss who just had too much of a weakness for women, and ended up letting his weakness for women cost him the entire colonies. And he blamed himself. He knew that it was because of himself that all the colonies were basically fell to the Cylons. But as the story progressed, he evolved as a character. He became much deeper, more introspective, and learning a bit more about himself and about the people around him, and actually became a likable person in a sense. And especially, he also became very religious. So I'm wondering about Lane's character, because the first episode showed there was a bit more to this character than meets the eye, and I'm hoping that it's not just everything is just really negative and he's just hiding it. I'm hoping that he's built to have more layers. Just far, he's showing that he's a person who's very respectable, charismatic, and no nonsense. And so I'm hoping that they do a bit more, but they don't go the easy route, the Snidely Whiplash route. I mean, well, not even so much Snidely Whiplash. I keep saying that. I said that in my last review. That they're not going to go the stereotypical villain route with him when it comes to shows like this that have sort of a big mystery abounding. So all in all, I guess I'll just use a scale of 1 to 10. I give this episode a pretty solid 7. I think 7. It wasn't anything new, but I liked the way it was going. And for those of you who want to know, who of course seen it or might have just didn't care about spoilers, the CG that's used for the birds, actually the bird-like dinosaurs, are actually a little bit better than the CG that they've been using for the other dinosaurs. So I was kind of happy about that. They did a few things that made it a little bit realer. Although there were a couple of parts where, for those of you who've seen it, that part where they attack the birds start attacking the colony en masse, there are a few instances where it looks like the timing of the birds actually hitting the person falling to the ground didn't quite look right, and I just that kind of bugged me just a little bit, but it didn't really take away from the enjoyment. Some people might differ. That's just how that's just what I think about it. By the way, something I forgot to say in my last review, and for those who probably might not have seen it yet, it's actually pretty good science fiction in the respect that they take a deal about the time travel aspect, a deal that some hardcore sci-fi fans would have a problem with. Of course, I'm talking about the time paradox. They're saying, well, how could they have gone back in time to 85 million years? That would have changed everything. The butterfly effect and all that. As utterly terrible as the movie was, The Sound of Thunder actually did raise an interesting mark. It was like, even if you so much as step on a butterfly in the dinosaur times, it would change everything. And they get around that by showing that they sent a probe back into the time crack, and they managed to figure out where this probe was located, triangulate this location, and match it up with where it would be in the present time. But when they went to search for the probe, and I guess this probe must have been made of materials that would have lasted 85 million years, I don't know. But when they searched for the probe in the present time, they never found it. So they figured that it was that the time going through the time portal didn't change anything in their time, because what it did, instead of actually changing real present events, it diverged timelines into two separate dimensions, rather than having a universe, rather than going into the same universe and altering everything up to that point, up to the 22nd century. They it made a divergent timeline where things are already going to turn out differently, as time goes by, without affecting the current timeline. That's the reason why nothing changed in the 22nd century when they started sending people back there. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And from what I've heard, that's actually a scientific theory about what might happen if you go back in time. But I don't know. I just thought that was a pretty interesting way to get around the whole deal about a time paradox. So anyway, like I said, solid 7, good episode. Had some pretty nice moments. Expanded on the characters a little bit more. Expanded on life in Terra Nova a little bit more, especially how they bought and sold things. They actually do have a currency. And they also they have a currency, and they also barter. So, and it also it showed like the whole different new species of dinosaur, which I thought was pretty cool. So that's pretty much my thoughts on this current episode of Terra Nova. The next one looks like it's going to be something kind of interesting. It's kind of going away. It doesn't look like something that I've never seen before, but it looks like I want to see at least what's going to happen with it. So until next time, guys, I'll be bringing you another Terra Nova review when the next episode comes out, and just look for more videos by me. As always, keep it civil down there if you want to respond. And so until next time, this is DecKrash, better known as Brandon. Stay lucky and stay blessed.